Hello and welcome everyone to Where Life Resumes. We have had a discussion, a longer one, on how the teams have shaped up after all the retentions and trades that have happened in IPL trading window. And now come the IPL 2026 auction on December 16th. I think it is a good idea to look at a few talking points from what can transpire on December 16th. We know a few teams have already locked their squads in. A few teams are only going to look for backups, while a few are looking for a huge restructuring between their side. And it will be interesting to see how the auction dynamics spans out. Because whatever we discuss, it all comes down to what the franchise owners and what the players think at the table, and that often dictates the auction proceedings. We have seen a lot of things go up and down. There are a few new rules implemented this auction to just cap out the maximum amount that the player is going to be paid. But having said that, a lot of combinations possible, as many as upwards of 250 crore cumulative between the 10 teams, and that will dictate a lot in itself. But here are a few points to look at. The all rounders, as always, are going to be hot properties going into this IPL auction. The names of Cameron Green, Venkatesh Iyer, Liam Livingston have been thrown into the mix, and I won't be surprised if a few of them end up being the highest paid IPL players ever. And it's not unrealistic because we have a very huge disparity between the auction purses of the team. While KKR sits heftily above 64 crores, CSK also have about 35-40 crores in their kitty, while others lay around that 15-20 CR mark. So if parity has to be attained, maybe these all-rounders coming in set one can make that difference. As is the case with these all-rounders, very often you get fluidity and flexibility. They can bat anywhere in the order. They'll give you overs with the ball. Green and Iyer especially, they bowl pace, and that is going to be very useful for most of the teams given how the Indian conditions have transpired to be in these recent past years. And it will be interesting to see where they are headed and at what price they are headed to. I think the next emphasis is going to be on leg spinners. There are 8 left arm leg spinners in that list. There are about 10 to 12 right arm leg spinners in there. And leading all of it is Ravi Bishnoi, a capped Indian star. And he might get good fetchers, but at the same time, I will not be surprised if the Indian franchises look at some domestic leg spinners as well. Maybe left arm, maybe right arm. A lot of teams still require those leg spin options. And like last year, we have seen someone like Zishan Ansari come up. We have seen Digvesh Rathi come up. So if those are any indicators, domestic talents can also be good to be banked upon. And that will play a huge role into those auction dynamics. So look out for these leg spinning options. Just like the leg spinners, I think the Indian uncapped players in general, be it all rounders, be it batters, be it pace bowlers, all of them will have a huge role to play in the auction. In the recently going Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, a lot of names have been thrown into the mix. You're looking at someone like Ashok Sharma leading the wicket takers pack, someone like Karthik Sharma who's shown enough finishing capabilities to play a perfect impact player for a franchise, and at the same time, someone like Hemant Reddy playing in the middle order, not afraid to play those big shots, but at the same time, not afraid to take on the opposition and go for the chase when the time comes. So all of these names thrown into the mix, I'm sure all the franchises, all the scouts that have been going around will be wary of these names. Their ears will be up, their eyes would be locked in, and I would not be surprised if you have a few unknown players or players you haven't heard the names of go for higher numbers in these auction, and that might also be the crux going into IPL 2026. You look at the other side though, a couple of capped players that my eyes go to, the likes of Prithvi Shaw, who is returning to cricket through Maharashtra, and he's doing well in the Syed Mushtaq Ali. He's done well for the Ranji games he's played as well, but a lot of questions have been asked of his discipline. On the other hand, someone like Sarfaraz, often looked at a test match specialist, he's lost his place in the Indian test side. He's struggling with injuries, but also has done well for Mumbai while playing in the recent Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. And with it all, these capped players might still not have done enough to get in there. It is a very gut feel that I don't think they might still have any takers, and even if there are, they might come very much late into the auction, because as I've seen the auction dynamics grow, I think the franchises like to have money in their kitty before getting these kind of high priced players, because the least that you can pay for a capped player is still 75 lakhs, and you might look at a couple of uncapped as replacements for those. So even if the likes of Prithvi Shaw, Sarfaraz Khan can find takers, it may not be as early as the accelerated auction comes through. And then finally, I think teams like Mumbai Indians, like Royal Challengers Bangalore, like Punjab Kings, who have done a lot in their retentions, in their trades, and who have done a lot of buying in the last season in itself, I don't think there are going to be things that they are going to look at unless they are looking for backups. For someone like RCB, a pace backup for Josh Hazelwood. For someone like Punjab, you might want to have someone to replace the likes of Josh Inglis in the middle. So there are these very specific roles, very specific backups that these teams might have to find. For Mumbai Indians, on the other hand, they just have over 2 crores left. So maybe some uncapped players here and there, like Mumbai, are always used to doing. So these three teams might not have huge auctions. They might be in there for very specific targets, very specific players, and that can throw other teams like the Lucknow or the Delhi Capitals or Rajasthan Royals into some sort of a situation because they are going to have to manage their budget, and these three teams might not really have to do anything in there. But that's about it from the IPL auction point of view. 5 pointers, I think that will influence a lot of the auction coming in. We will be here discussing a lot more of as and how the auction comes through. But y'all do let me know what are your predictions going into the IPL 2026 auction. And I look forward to getting into the discussions in the comment. Until then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Where Life Resumes, both on Instagram and YouTube.